Success Coaching. Disclaimer. This information is not presented by a medical practitioner and is for educational and informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have read or heard. Do you need to reinvent your business and how to tell? You have to realize just how important your business is to your personal success. You will also find that there are times where you are going to have to reinvent your business. You need to keep in mind that if you really want your business to work out, then you're going to have to constantly be trying to reinvent the business, the reputation of the business. You will want to make sure that your business reflects everything that you would like people to think about when they hear about your business. When it comes to the times when you are going to have to reinvent the business, you will find that it may be when the profits stop coming in as fast, or just after so long when people have gotten comfortable with the business. You will also want to make sure that you have everything that you offered in the beginning, but you reinvent yourself and the business through many techniques so that you can build on the business. You will find that a business innovation involves the use of new products, new business goals and plans, new business models, new communication and marketing techniques, and so on. You will find that it is important for you to constantly work and change your communication ways so that you can make sure that you are on the way to becoming a household name. One of the biggest changes that you are going to have to deal with is the change of competitive advantage. You will find that your competitive advantage will make a huge difference in the company, and you will also notice a change, positive or negative, in the profits of the business. You will want to make sure that you think about all the changes and their consequences, because you will want to make sure that you are making the right changes, and also that you can make more of a profit. You will also want to consider the changes and how the public will react. You need to make sure that you get a positive rise out of your public and out of your potential customers. You will need to consider the fact that you are working on a piece of art. Every now and then you will think about things that you can add or change to make it better. This is exactly how you will approach your business. You will need to take into consideration that there are going to be some problems, but you will be able to work through all the issues and bring in some potential customers. You will need to think about your business as something that is forever growing. Take into consideration that there are some general knowledge of the business and there is a general knowledge about your clientele that you are going to have to use in order to decide if your business ideas are a go or a bust. You will want to make sure that you do all the appropriate research so that you can take care of all the business decisions but also feel confident in your business decision-making. If you are looking to reinvent your business, you may even want to get a professional marketing business to consult with. You will feel a lot better about making decisions when you get the opinion of a professional. You will want to consider doing what you can to make the best decisions possible. You will need to get some personal business goals, and that you can have some sort of direction and reasoning to the reinvention of your business. Do you need to reinvent your personal motivation for life? Reinventing yourself is very important. You will find that there are times in life when you are going to have to change your life or change yourself in some small way. You will need to consider reinventing yourself personally, professionally, and also in some of the relationships that you have made with others. You will find that there are no rules or principles that you will need to follow in the reinvention, but you should try to make things better or easier for yourself. You will need to do your best to try to reinvent yourself in a positive way. When it comes to change, you have to learn how to embrace it. You will want to consider the fact that there is a certain amount of expectations and goals that you're going to have to meet for yourself. You will need to consider the fact that there are a lot of wonderful things that you will need to embrace in life, but you will want to keep in mind that your greatest achievement will be in yourself. Figure out what it is that you need in your life first. Then you need to try and work it out to a plan of action. You will also have to figure out where your glass ceiling is. Some people have a glass ceiling. This is where they can see the top, but feel that they are unable to get there. The thing is that you're going to have to try and work things out to the furthest point, but eventually you will have to stop and look at yourself and feel a sense of pride. Self-actualization is very hard to achieve. Some people spend their entire lives trying to get to the point of self-actualization. For you to reinvent yourself, you are going to have to consider your strengths and your weaknesses. You will need to work on both so that your weaknesses aren't really weaknesses at all, and your strengths are stronger than ever. You will find that only through self-evaluation will you ever be able to find yourself on the correct path to contentment. You will have that with your skills. You will be able to stand out above the rest with a little bit of work. When you reinvent yourself, you will need to think about growth and the concern of your spiritual health, physical health, mental health, and also deal with some of your attachments. You will want to make sure that you think about who you are and who you are when in certain areas of your life. First, you will want to consider the fact that you have many relationships with many important people. You will want to make sure that you do everything you can so that you can make the best possible impression on others, but also show others the new and improved you. You will be able to achieve a lot of things when you think about using your whole self to accomplish your goals. You will need to think about ways that you can use your body, mind, and soul so that you can do a complete renovation on yourself. You also have to think about using all of yourself so that you can reach your own stardom and be truly happy. You will also want to consider the fact that your transformation will not happen overnight. You will want to keep in mind that there is a lot of time and energy that you are going to have to put into yourself in order to make your goals into something. There are many improvements that you can make, but you are also going to have to evaluate yourself every now and then. How to discover if you need team building in your business. There are a lot of ways that you can build teams in your business, but you will also find that there are just as many reasons for you to start trying to build your team within your company. You will find that 2 heads are always better than 1, and that is the main reason why you will want to consider building a couple of teams within your business. You will find that successful team building skills is necessary to run a successful business. Even if it is just running a research team, you will find that team building skills is a necessary skill. As a business owner, you will need to learn how to build and sustain powerful teams so that the work gets done and the work is done well. You will first need to learn how to build the teams. You first need to group your workers together and tell them clear expectations that you have for them. You will need to make sure that you clearly communicate your expectations for the team so that they can understand what is needed to be accomplished. You may even want to give them a rubric to follow so that the team can stay on track. You will also want to emphasize that this is a team effort and that the team will reflect on everyone. You may even want to designate 1 or 2 people from the group to be the task leaders. The leader will make sure that the team stays on top of things. Secondly, you will need to make sure that the context is clear as well. You may need to give the team some initial guidance by setting a few rules down. You will want to make sure that the whole team comes together by designating a great leader. You will also want to express about how the individual's concern for the group is needed as well as a group effort. You will want to jot down some things like the group's goals. However, let them decide the principles, values, and vision of the group. Thirdly, you have to have commitment. You can't just throw a bunch of people together and ask them to work together. You have to help build this team. You will want to make sure that you learn how to use yourself as a good example of commitment. Explain to everyone your reasoning behind the teamwork and how it is beneficial to the company, as well as the personal member and group goals. You need to have everyone on board with this. However, you can't forget about competence. You need to have qualified people to put the team together. Everyone has a job at work or within the company, and if you use their specialties to build a strong group, you will be able to build a team that can figure out a way to do anything. Make sure that you also think about the personalities of the team members, because you will want to put people together who will work well and not argue so much. You will find that building a good team is much harder than sustaining the group. The group will be able to come together and reach their goals by having a fierce leader to keep them in line, as well as having a good standard of morals and ethics in the company. You may want to start the teams off by doing a small task to see who works and who doesn't, but you will also want to give the group a little bit of freedom to figure out what each member is about and also how each person fits into the group. Hiring a success speaker for your team event. Tips. You will find that when it comes to choosing the best motivational speaker, you may be a little bit clueless. However, there are some basic questions that you can ask yourself before you hire such a person. You will also want to consider going on a gut feeling as to what the audience is looking for so that you can pick the best motivational speaker. As to some of the questions that you will need to ask yourself, you will need to be concerned with the credibility and trustworthiness of the speaker. Is this someone who you think would make a good general speaker? Would you also consider the message that they are saying so that you would make sense to the group or team? You will also want to make sure that the person is motivational and educational, but they also need to be entertaining and inspiring. You will want to make sure that this is someone who is worth your time and money before you set anything in stone. The real question that you have to ask yourself is whether or not you think that this person is best for you and your group. This is the hardest question to answer, because you have no idea how they will react to the speaker, but you must always have your audience in mind when picking a motivational speaker. Something that you will want to look for in the motivational speaker is one that is willing to deliver a good, clear message, but also someone that the audience can relate to. You will want to ask them to deliver stories that would get the audience's attention. You will also want to make sure that this is someone who is going to be completely professional about the entire program. You will want to make sure that this is the program that will be filled with energy and also will be able to withstand the attention span of the audience. The speaker has to possess great communication skills in order to be a positive and moving motivational speaker. It is hard to know what the best decision to make is. However, you will want to give that person an opportunity to impress you in the line of questioning and interviewing that you will do. You will need to also listen to your gut feeling about motivational speakers, because your workers are going to think a lot less of you if you bring in a bogus speaker. You will want to ask for references, and also you will want to ask for any credentials or research that they have done on the topic, so that you can get a general idea of what the speaker is going to be stating and how they feel about the topic. If you are looking to hire a successful speaker, you will want to meet with them a few times and also go over some of the things that they are going to be talking about, so that you can still have a complete control over the censorship of the speaker. You may even want to lay down some groundwork on what is appropriate in the speech and what is not appropriate for the speech. After hiring a few speakers, you will know which ones work well and which ones you would never hire again. The key is to always keep trying to connect with your workers and learn how to motivate your workers so that the company can make the most profits. Keep in mind that explaining the purpose and duty of every person or position is key motivation. You will want to do everything you can to make others feel that they are important to the future of the company. How to hire a business motivational coach. What to look for. Do you know what you are looking for in a motivational speaker? You will find that studies show that most clients that you have in the business roster, then the better for your company will do with profits. The thing is that you will need to pick up the spirits in the office at some point, and that is when a motivational speaker comes in and tells others how they can work on their own goals, while working towards the goals of the company. You will find that there are going to be experiences shared between the speaker and even between the workers. You will find that a motivational speaker will not only try to motivate your workers, but they are also there to educate and stimulate the minds of the workers. Some of the things that you will need to look for is humor and entertainment, but at the same time it is educational and stimulating. If your workers leave the office thinking that they just had fun, then that's great. If your workers leave the office feeling that they have learned something, then that is even better. You will need to get a speaker who can mix the humor with a serious education so that you can make the most out of the time that is spent with the motivational speaker. Keep in mind that a motivational speaker is not only costly, but it is also time-consuming. You will want to make sure that all of your workers are on board with the plan so that they can make the most out of the time and energy that the speaker puts into the presentation. Secondly, you will need to look for someone who is a strong leader. You want to make sure that they are motivating and that they are able to prove that there is an effective course of action to help the company and the workers out of the flat line. You will want to also understand that the motivational speaker is important to the success of the business. Keep in mind that you are in a competitive workforce and that you have to be able to reach and control your workers in order to maximize profits. You will need to make sure that you deliver a good presentation for your workers so that they will be more enticed to give that extra effort. You need to look for charisma in the speaker. They need to be able to charm a room so that they can be entertaining and yet informing. You will also find that if the speaker is able to make a bond with your workers, then the workers will be more inclined to listen and really pay attention to the message of the speech. You will also want to check up on the references of the speaker because you are paying for their services and you will want to make sure that they are going to uphold their end of the bargain. You will want to take into consideration many personalities and characteristics of the speaker before you hire them. However, you will also want to be considered with your own gut feeling. Basically, if you think that this person would work or would not work for your company, then you need to listen to yourself. You will find that when it comes to reading people, your gut feeling is always the best supporting evidence to do the choice. However, once you begin to ask around, you will find that others will come highly recommended and often completely right for the company as a motivational speaker. Success coaching and putting common sense back into your business. You will find that the business world is constantly changing, but also everything is constantly changing. You will find that the competition will appear and fade just as quickly as they came. However, you may just be the one of the competitors who fade away quicker than you think. You will want to think twice about letting your company go. You will want to keep in mind that learning how to control and contain the change in your favor. You will need to get some serious professional help to get things into focus and also figure out a game plan. You will need a team of PR or public relations so that you can change in a planned and positive way. Not only will you want to plan your changes, but you will also want to react quickly to the change that is not planned. When life gives you lemons, you need to learn how to make lemonade. The same goes for business. When you are dealt a change that you have to learn how to react quickly and in a positive way. You will want to make sure that you do everything that you can to work out the kinks and build a continuously growing and strong company. The first thing that you will need to do is learn how to predict the market and the potential choices that you will be faced with. You will find that some of your predictions will be right and find out that some of the predictions will be wrong. You will need to have several coaches with you so that the whole company can grow on the same page. You will need to have a coach to deal with the market end, and you will want to also find a coach to help you with the predictions and the research. You will also want to have a team of motivational leaders in order to keep the whole company going. You will find that there are going to be a lot of change and situations that you will need to go through. However, you will want to consider the fact that there is a lot of change going to happen in the business, and you need to think about working on the offense and defense to these changes. You also make one to think about having not only a motivational speaker, but also a motivational leader. The leader will teach management and supervisors how to stand above the rest and make great leaders. You will find that every manager has to make some sort of decision by himself or herself. If you are not really allowing your managers to make the small choices, then you are the worst off when you think. Your workers have to be strong, but your management team has to be stronger. You will want to work on the leadership values of the business. You can't allow your managers to confuse their title with their duties. Just because you are the director of services doesn't mean that you can't jump in and help out with another department. You will also want to talk to your workers on how you will be able to not show up as a hero, but as team members. Make sure that you talk to all of your workers about how there is not I in teamwork and that everyone is equally important. This will make office ethics more valuable. You will want to make sure that you keep in mind all of your options when it comes to coaches and also leadership. Success coaching, developing confidence in your business. You will find that there are many ways to develop confidence in the business world, but you will find that with successful coaching will make things work smoother and you will end up having more production. You will be able to work on the success rate of your business by getting professionals to talk to the workers and management team of the business. You will find that this is one of the greatest ways to work on and networking a business. You will want to make your workers and management team stronger than ever, and the best way to go about this is through coaching. For those of you who are not sure about how to network and talk to the workers, you will want to consider hiring a team of professionals. You will not only want to hire someone who will be able to motivate the workers, but you will also want to hire someone who is able to control the change of the business. You will find that with control, you will be able to develop confidence in your business decisions, but also giving your workers the same education, you will be able to work on having a successful team of confident workers. The best way to coach and develop confidence of the business, you will want to think about sending a group of your workers to a conference of some sort so that they will be able to work on their own personal issues and also work on dealing with the confidence that is in the business. You will want to make sure that you get the workers to volunteer so that they can fully commit to the coaching. You will even want to take a small group of workers by yourself so that you can work on speaking with your workers one-on-one and also so that you can educate them on the morals and ethics of the company. You will also want to consider the fact that the bond of boss-to-worker relations will be easily made when you come down to their level. You will not only get your workers to work harder for you, but they will work with you in order to get the company bigger than ever. You will want to use many tools in order to get the message across to the workers. You will want to put many presentations together in order to make a clear message to your workers. You will also want to consider working hard on the memos so that you can keep up the confidence and the good work. Through coaching and many seminars, you will be able to work on having a great company. However, you will want to consider the fact that you will need to communicate with your coworkers and your management teams effectively so that you can have a great company. You will want to make sure that you give this just as much as your workers. You need to have the same commitment to workers as the workers have commitment for the company. You will need to keep in mind that everyone has their own fears and worries and concerns for the way that they are acting for their career. You may just find that if you give your workers a chance, you all could have a wonderful time working towards progressive profits. You will want to make sure that you think about being more of a support system for your workers than a dictator. When you look at your workers with care and concern, you will be able to find respect beyond than expected. Success and motivational strategies in life. You have to keep in mind that there are many things you can do with motivation. With a proper inspiration, you will be able to encourage your children, your mate, and even your workers. You will want to keep this in mind when it comes to the business world. You will want to think about the possible success and motivational strategies that you can use in your everyday life. You will want to make sure that you think about the ways that you need to motivate and how you think you can use it to make your life just a little bit better. With the motivation, you can find it anywhere. You will find that your friends and family members will keep you motivated, and you will also be able to work with your close friends and family so that you can work towards a goal. You will want to use your friends and family members as a support system. As for the strategies, you will want to keep in mind that there are things that you need to do in order to have a fulfilling life. You will want to make sure that you work on being a good role model, not only for yourself, but for the sake of others who may look up to you. You will want to also motivate yourself through reading. When you pick up a book, you will be able to enhance your life and enrich your education. You will also want to create situations for yourself that you will be able to make choices. Even if it is just everyday situations, you will be able to gain your confidence by practicing the art of making a choice. Eventually, you will be able to work on who you are and gain a lot of confidence in the decisions that you make. You will also want to practice and then learn how to reward yourself for your efforts. You will want to reward yourself in order to keep your motivation going. You will want to consider the rewards that you indulge in and the acts that you reward yourself with. You don't want to give yourself silly rewards all the time, but you have to consider the fact that you will look forward to the rewards. You will want to make sure that you get positive feedback from your support system and from those who are critiquing you. You will want to consider the fact that there are going to be times where you will feel that someone has it in for you. However, when you learn to gain their confidence, you will be able to handle any and all criticism. You will want to keep in mind that even criticism is validated, and you will be able to use it to become better. For those who are able to use negatives to become a positive, you will be able to work a lot more than others. You will be able to consider yourself as a positive person, and you will be radiating with confidence. Success and motivation seem to go hand in hand. You will want to consider the fact that they both take a lot of work and discipline. You will want to consider the fact that there are a lot of benefits to being a confident and successful person. However, you have to find what works for you in order to become the person that you wish to be. You will want to decide what is best for you to become the person that you wish to be. Success coaching and personal development tips. There are many personal development tips that you will need to use in order to become a successful person. You will find that when you use techniques like success coaching, you will be forced to face some of these issues and work on the type of person who you wish to become. The first tip that you will have to use is learning how to be on top of things. You will need to work on your timing. You will find that there are going to be appointments in which you will be expected to be on time for. You need to learn how to be on time for these appointments so that you can stay on schedule. Also, keep in mind that there are many benefits to being on time. Keep in mind that the early bird gets the worm, and the early worker gets noticed and promotions. The second tip is that you're going to have to learn to stop what you are doing in order to find success. You will need to keep in mind that there are times when you need to let go of it all, so that you can work on yourself and be successful, yet happy. You will want to make sure that you think about having some fun. The third thing is that you will want to consider all the things that you will have to do in order to become a successful person. You will want to consider that the climb up is harder than the climb down. Also, keep in mind that you need to watch who you step on in the process, because you never know when you will need the same people to help you later. With that said, you will also need to learn from your personal mistakes and also learn from the mistakes of others. Some people will ignore the advice that they are given, and they will expect others to help support them while they make mistakes. The key is to make a choice not to make a mistake. If you know that there is a possibility that you could end up getting hurt in any way, then you will need to stop and rethink what you are about to do. You will also want to channel yourself into a positive aura. You will need to be able to make lemonade out of lemons. You will want to make sure that you stop thinking about the negatives and start thinking about the positives. You may want to refocus your energy so that you can keep yourself in line and with a positive sense of mind. You will need to think about your strengths and your weaknesses. You will need to work on your weaknesses, and you will also need to keep up with the strengths so that you can be the best that you can be. A lot of people hold themselves back. You have to keep in mind that there are a lot of things that you can do, but you will need to get the motivation started to keep yourself going. You will not want to limit yourself. You need to keep in mind that there are times when you will be pushed to your limits, but when you take a step back, you will be able to go the distance with the proper motivation. Keep in mind that you are able to make a difference, but you will need to consider what it is that you would like to change before you take any action. How to use personal goals in your business. Goal setting is a powerful tool to help you find a career that you will find interesting and fulfilling. You will want to consider some of your personal goals and some of your skills that you may be able to use to achieve some of your goals. You will need to set your goals correctly in order for them to make an impact on your life and in your business. Make sure that you think about your current career status and where you would eventually like to be with your career in the next few years and before retirement. This way, you can make short-term and long-term goals. To get started on your goals, you will need to first discover a purpose. What is that you have a passion for? What is it that you wish to achieve? You will then need to think about things like your purpose with the career, in the career, and also some of the personal achievements that you would like to make for yourself. The only thing is that you have to deal with your motivation one step at a time. Once you have declared what it is that motivates you, you will need to get some sense of direction to go in your career with the goals. The direction can be told by thinking about the order in which you need to achieve some of your personal and business goals. Keep in mind that goal setting, planning, and achieving can take a lot of time and possibly money. You will want to make sure that you will be able to work with these goals. Secondly, you have to think about some of your personal talents and passions. You may also find that you have some sort of skill or ability that will help you to achieve your goals. You will need to think about what you're going to need to have in order to reach your goals, and you are also going to have to possess some sort of skill or ability in order to boost your goals. You may even want to take your interest in mind when selecting personal goals. If you can see yourself having a desire or interest in something, then you are going to explore all possibilities, but you also need to have an open mind. With an open mind, you will be able to find yourself on a path, but you will also be open to new paths and changes in the plan. You will be able to work for your goals easier when you keep an open mind. Don't your ethics and moral values. You should never have to do anything that makes you second guess. You will not want to put yourself in the position to move forward or listen to your gut feeling. Once you have compromised your morals, you will not only feel extremely bad, but you will also never be able to find success as a business leader and as a person. You need to give serious thoughts to ethical issues before you do anything irrational. You should identify what it is that is motivating you too. You need to make sure that you are doing things for more than just money. You really can't put a dollar sign on accomplishments. Even though you will find that some of your choices will lead to positive profits, you need to consider other things like the environment, the community, for the pride, and simply for the accomplishment as motivators so that you can build a strong and lasting business. How to use success goals to be financially secure. The one thing that everyone wants is to be financially secure. You will need to figure out what it will take for you to become a financially secure person. You have to consider things like your credit rating and the amount of money that you have for disposal before you make any serious changes in your life. You should be financially secure before you go to buy your first house, an expensive car, and life-altering decisions like bringing a child into the world. Many people never think about their actions or financial situation until they are completely broke and crying the corner. You can't allow yourself to fall into some deep, dark hole. You need to learn how to work your goals into being successful and financially secure. The first goal that you need to set in order to control your money situation is to learn how to control your daily finances. This means that you need to learn how to stretch a paycheck until the next paycheck. This can be difficult, and many people need to land another job in order to stay ahead. However, you have to understand that this is not an easy goal to achieve. It may take months for you to learn the tricks of the trade and also to take over control of your own spending habits. You will need to give this plenty of time and attention. Secondly, you need to look at yourself and solve the problem from within once you have given your current finance situation a thought. You need to make sure that you are able to take control over yourself and over your feelings. A lot of people will shop and buy things that they don't need because the purchases make them happy. You will need to set some personal goals in order to deal with the inner problem. You will also want to get some professional help in order to deal with the anxiety and stress that life can sometimes inflict. However, taking a step to take control is a goal within itself. You will also want to get together with a professional so that you can set down and make some financial goals. The coach will show you ways to save some of your money on a daily basis, but you will also be able to find a lot of other ways to meet a financial goal. You will not only need to take control over yourself, but over the influence of others. You can't give up on your goal of being financially sound just because some store is having a sale. You will need to get personal goals in order to fight the impulses to shop. This means you will need to make some budget goals too. Also, writing a plan on how to stay within budget is another thing that you could try in order to find success with your goals. You should use the facts to help find motivation to achieve your goals. Once you begin to notice that you have more money, then you will need to take some extra money and put it aside, possibly invest it, so that you are not tempted. You need to think about your financial situation as it is, because you are going to need to find something in the future to retire with, but you will never be able to retire until you get a grip on your own insecurities and such. There are so many people who can offer their services in order to help you to achieve your goals. You may want to seek many of them out, if not just for support, but they will help to guide you and help you to achieve your financial goals. Success and happiness tend to go hand in hand. However, you have to figure out what it is that would make you feel successful and happy. Sometimes you will find that success and happiness will lead you into two different directions. For example, you may find that your current living situation makes you happy, but if you ever want to become a CEO, then you will need to head for the city. You will need to consider at one point which is more important to you. Keep in mind, if you are able to find happiness, then you have more personal success than you could ever imagine. Everyone's goals should then lead to happiness, and if it does, then you will find success. Life is very difficult, and it can be meaningless at times, but at some point in life you need to take control over your feelings and ideas in order to find happiness and success. You will need to look deep inside yourself in order to find your own success. You will also need to make sure that you are lining yourself up with the proper goals, or you will never find happiness and success. The one tip that you will have to keep in mind is that you need to be open to the universe. Basically, there are going to be times where you will get lost and confused, but you need to trust yourself. Your heart and your head will lead you to plenty of success as long as you listen to your feelings. You will want to consider the fact that you are going to change your mind and you are going to change your heart. There is no point in doing anything that your heart is not into. It is also pointless for you not to listen to your head either. You will need to understand that changing your mind is not giving up. You are not a quitter, but you are simply consistently reaching for bigger and better things. You can consider yourself a failure just because you didn't give yourself time to reach your goals, but you should consider yourself lucky to know when something isn't worth as much as you first thought. You need to close your eyes right now and think about 5 things that you need to accomplish to be happy and to be successful. You will want to jot them down and also the pros and cons of each of the goals. You will then need to come up with a plan of action. There will be some dreams and goals that you will need to give up at the moment because they are simply not realistic. Move on with the goals that you can reach later on and come back to the list and update your goals. You will notice that there will be some minor accomplishments, but you will also see how naturally it is to change your mind. The ingredients for success and happiness are different for everyone. You can't just make yourself successful or happy overnight. You have to consider that this is something that you are going to have to work hard for, and you will also need to keep in mind that these goals are short-term and long-term. There is a great amount of work and energy to be happy and successful. You will need to consider the consequences of all of your actions so that you can decide whether or not things will move you close to achieving your ultimate goal. Happiness and success is possible for everyone, but the definitions of happiness and success is also different for everyone, and that is a difference that needs to be recognized when setting goals. How to use success coaching for your health. Your health is very important to having a successful life. The reason why it is so important is because you need to be aware of your own health in order to achieve some of your long-term and short-term goals. You simply need to give yourself the time and opportunity to meet all of your goals so that you can leave the world happy and successful. Your health, weight in particular, can be a goal in itself. You can set goals in order to become healthy. The first thing that you need to do is make a list of reasons why you feel you need to be healthier. You will want to set some type of background for your goal so that you can understand where it is that you are coming from. You need to know where you are in order to get where you would like to be, and that is the same in this case. You need to go and weigh yourself to see where your weight issues stand, and then set some goals in order to achieve success. If you are like most people, losing weight is very touchy. You will want to work with a team of people. First, you will want to consult your doctor and see how much you can push yourself in order to meet your health goals. There are some people who are in dire need of medical advice and weight loss. You may not be able to push yourself as hard as you would like to or need to. Once you have accepted your ability to attack your health goals, you need to gain the confidence to reach your goals. You will want to talk to a counselor, friend, family member, or professional to help encourage you to reach out for a healthy goal in life. They will also work as your support system and will be there for you through the difficult times. Lastly, you are going to need a motivator. The motivator can be anyone or anything that will get you to give all you got. It could be a simple image of yourself that could motivate you to give an extra 5 minutes on the treadmill. The thing with the health goals is that you need to keep your expectations way from superstardom. You are never going to be as thin or build as nice as some of the celebrities that you see on TV. Not saying that you can't achieve this type of success, but celebrities tend to work out all day and eat at danger levels. You can't push yourself through that much without having a professional with you at all times. Most people can't afford to have a nutritionist and a coach and a motivator and a team of plastic surgeons. Accept what you can do on your own and accept the consequences of a healthy diet and exercise. Finally, you have to learn to make goals that influence good health, but you will also need to set goals that will help you to feel better about yourself. Even if you don't hit your ideal weight, you need to be able to look at yourself and say to yourself that this is acceptable. Trying is just part of the goal. When it comes to health-related goals, your ultimate goal is to accept yourself. Can you accept yourself as is? This is a goal that many people spend their entire lives trying to achieve. It's not hard to accept yourself, especially your flaws, but it is something that everyone needs to do in order to find success and happiness. How to use success coaching for your team-building needs. You have to understand that team-building skills are necessary in any business manager or owner. You will need to learn how to be a successful leader and coach, but you also need to know how to build a team that will not only support the group members, but the company at the same time. You will find that making teams within the office is a very difficult thing, but you will need to get everyone on board with your ideas before you let anything get out of hand. The first thing that you will need to learn how to do is how to set up a successful team. The first thing that you need to do is assemble a small team of people. You will then need to consider the goals for the team. When you are first developing teams in the workplace, you will need to set your goals low, just to feel it out. You will then need to get everyone willingly to participate in the experiment. If things start out rocky, you can be assured that the team will figure out how to meet their goals by working together and supporting each other very quickly. Another thing that you might want to think about when it comes to introducing teams into the workplace is that you may want to get a voluntary team together to work on a new and special project. You will want to stress that the percentage of participation that you are looking for is between 20 and 30%. However, stress that the team is very important and how important the members of the team will be to the project and to the company in general. You will also want to elect a leader of the group to keep the group on top of things. There is going to be so much to consider in the group that the task itself can disappear. It is very important that you learn how to keep things in track and online as the manager or owner. However, you also have to give your employees self-respect through the increase of responsibility. The workers are going to feel honored when you give them the chance to have a voice in the company, and your business will benefit greatly from the ideas that the teams will come up with. A lot of major companies will hire an outsider to come in and adjust some of the attitudes and knowledge of the current staff in order to achieve more things. You will want to consider that this can be a costly way to build teams in the company, but it can also make a great impression with the workers. They will feel that this is more serious to the company or business when an outsider has to come in and explain things. It tends to make things official. Again, you will need to see what type of coach or motivational speaker you can use in your budget for the project and for the overall budget of the company. You will find that the best coach for successful teams is to lead your own team and make a good example for the others. You need to keep in mind how important and beneficial the teams could be to the company. You will eventually get a payoff from your own hard work and dedication. The manager or owner should make a good example for the workers, just for the fact that your workers will look to you for the rules and ethics of the company. When you start showing your own leadership skills, you will be able to get leaders from every desk in the office. How to be more successful using an entrepreneurial coach. The hardest thing in the world is being a successful business owner. You have no idea how many people open up a business and how many people close a business every day. In fact, most businesses never make it past 2 years. 2 years is usually the limit because owners are unable to work financially, and they also are in so much debt that they begin losing things that they worked so hard for. You don't want to end up being a loser, and you don't want to show others how you are unable to control something like a small business. If you are looking for success, then you are going to have to put in a lot of time, hours and hours, and a lot of money. You will find that the first thing that you will need to do in order to make a business is to gain money through investors and loans. The second thing that you will want to do in order to be an entrepreneur is to learn what it takes to make it. This is where you need to get an entrepreneurial coach. The coach will help you with your personal and business goals, but also they will be able to help you with things like financial issues and business ideas. The coach will not tell you how to run your business, but they will tell you what you might want to consider in order to build the business right. You will need to be open-minded to some of the suggestions in order to find success. The first thing that you will want to get together is a business plan. You will need to spend a lot of time and money into making the business plan a solid direction of business. You will find that when you do this, you will be able to get the attention and approval of many investors and creditors. This will help you to make a great profit, and you will be able to have a startup money. Make sure that you have the money that it would take to run the business for 1 year. Once you go through the supply, you will either need to invest your own money or rethink the business. Once you are financially secure, you will then need to look for a coach. Some of the things that you will want to look for in a coach is a standard of professionalism. You will also want to make sure that you interview the person so that you can build a level of trust in the person. Then you will also want to consider checking on their references in order to make a good decision when picking a coach. Once you have a coach, you will need to expect some of the following. First, you will want to know that it is normal for them to go through your current paperwork to see if the business is in the red or the black. Then you will want to give them some of the ideas for goals that you have for yourself, as the owner, and what it is that you expect out of the business. This will help you to set some goals, and also you will be able to find a great path that will lead you to meeting some, if not all of your goals. You will want to consider some of the suggestions that the coach gives, because they may not be more than what you think they do. Finally, you need to get on a path to go in the direction of your goals and stay on track. You may need to set up a plan A and a plan B because there are times when you will need to stray from the original plan and work with another. Commitment and success strategies. Keep in mind that there are many ways that you can become successful, but you have to realize that commitment is part of it. You will notice that a lot of your goals will take some energy and work. You can't give up on something, especially when you are so close to achieving your dreams. You will first need to deal with your commitment issues quickly, and then continue to learn how to be a successful person. First thing that you have to recognize is if you have an issue with commitment. You will know if you fear commitment when you start to think about all the things that you have started and left unfinished. Don't confuse commitment with procrastination. You can commit to something, but never finish because you feel that you have so much time to achieve your goals that you think it can wait another day, and so on. When you have a fear of commitment, you will not be able to see yourself achieving any of your goals. To deal with your fear of commitment, you may need to seek the professional help of a doctor or counselor. You will also want to build a strong support system that will allow you to achieve your goals by giving you an extra nudge every now and then. You will want to deal with your fear of commitment early on in life, because there are going to be a lot of things that you will need to commit to in your life. As for the success, you will find that most strategies are the same. You will need to look at the way to success as follows. You will need to look at yourself, your past, and your future in order to make a change in your life. You will need to learn from your mistakes and also learn to love life in order to find your success. You will find that when you look into the future, you will be able to plan and take care of what you can now in order to have a strong and solid future. It would be like having a college fund for an unborn child. You need to start planning for the future as soon as possible. You will also want to think about things like your mental start and your general health. You will need to learn how to read and enrich your studies. You will also need to figure out what your way of learning is. Some people just need to leap in and accept their world as it is, but others are able to look at what the consequences of their actions will bring. You will also need to think about your health. You will need to eat, sleep, and exercise properly so that you can be ready for anything. Not only will you have to learn how to take care of yourself, but you will need to learn how to show others empathy. You have to consider that there are a lot of people that you are going to meet on your way up the corporate ladder. However, the way that you treat them will result in how fast you fall. You don't want to burn any bridges because the way down is a lot harder than the struggle up. You will want to keep this in mind when it comes to anything. To find success, you have to be creative. You have no idea where your success could be. You also have no idea from what of success you will have in your life. The key is to go with the flow. When the trouble pops up, it is suggested that you think out of the box in order to solve the problems, because you will be able to trust yourself. These are just some of the suggestions that you will want to think about when it comes to building a successful career and life. How to set commitment and personal goal ideas. The perfect example of a goal that people tend to have issues committing to is the New Year's resolutions. This is just one of the many personal goals and ideas that you could commit to. However, once you are able to commit to the goal, you will be able to see yourself making progress towards success. Some of the reasons why people are unable to commit to something is because they are not looking at the work and energy that it takes to succeed. Also, a lot of people do not feel like committing because of the pressure that they feel is built up. The thing is that you will need to find some motivation in order to make the plans and succeed at the goals. You will want to make sure that you look at the commitment seriously so that you can not only work on building your own skills and personal characteristics, but also you can learn how to commit to future goals. The first thing that you will need to do in order to commit to something is to just sit down and figure out your desires. You will need to dig deep on this one. You will find that there may not be enough desire in your life, or you may feel overwhelmed because there is too much desire in your life. The thing is that you will need to figure out what it is that you truly want and the reasons why you desire it. This will help you to focus on what is important to you. There are going to be times when you will want to give up and turn back. However, you will want to give yourself some time to think before you make any irrational decisions. You want to give yourself the chance to define your reasons for giving up and your reasons for pushing forward with the goal. It is very important that you learn how to take care of yourself so that you can be in the proper state of mind to use reason as motivation to push you further. If you really want to commit a goal and see it through, then you will need to learn how to take care of yourself. You will need to learn how to eat, sleep, and exercise properly so that you can have a good solid state of mind and health. This will make things clearer, and you will find that the decision-making process will become a lot easier. You will want to consider the fact that your desires are going to change. You will need to come back and evaluate your need for commitment. Just because you change your mind doesn't mean that you are giving up. You are simply moving forward with your ultimate goal to be happy. Also, keep in mind that the more you want something, the more you are going to seek it out. This means that you are going to work harder than ever to get yourself in the position to succeed. You will also notice that you will be able to save yourself a lot of trouble or hassle of walking away. If you give yourself an offer that you can't refuse, then you will be able to learn how commitment is all about and succeed with a goal. Keep in mind that you are not going to find success overnight. This is something that you are going to have to continuously work for. This may be something that you spend your entire life trying to succeed at. You will need to consider the fact that success needs hardworking and devoted individuals, because that is exactly what it takes to become a successful person.